Hi, this is Rob Reed from Magenta, Cyan, Chimpanzee, Compendium, Kiyama, Sanctuary, and you're watching LiveProg.
Well, hello there, welcome to LiveProg. I am Marcel Haster. Welcome to my end-year videos, the second one of a two-parter video. The first one that I did, I looked back on the albums that I didn't review. Of course, it's just, an excuse to show all these albums in a video. That's why I make these videos, to show you these albums, of course. But hey, this one is not gonna be that much different. Because, when I'm gonna look back at the highlights of 2024, LiveProg-wise, I gotta talk about music. I gotta talk about the amazing music that I listened to this year. But not just that. Of course, there are a couple of other more highlights. So before I move into the music, let me just, share a few other highlights that I had this year. For example, I went to 8 concerts this year. Now, maybe you think, 8? That's not a lot. I went to, for me, it's a lot. I haven't been to concerts for almost 10 years. And last year I went to 2 concerts, and the year before that to 1 concert. So me going to 8 concerts it's quite an improvement already. And I saw some fantastic bands. I was really happy that I caught Subsignal live. I'm really happy that I went to the release show of On Cloud. I went to see Cyan and Karnataka, old bands that I kind of knew but not really knew. So, all those shows, I saw Pure Reason Revolution, I saw Inhalo, I saw also Eden, I saw a lot. Which was awesome. I really enjoyed it. Combined with that, with several of these concerts, I also did interviews. This year, I did 12 interviews. 3 of these interviews I did as live streams, which was kind of new for me, but it was a lot of fun to do. So, for example, I had a chance to speak with Brent Bristow from Emerald City Council, but not just with him, but also with 2 other members of the band. And for one of them, the guitar player, that was his debut being interviewed. So, it was a really special one. I did a live stream with Marco Gluman and Johnny Beck from Sylvan, of course. And I did a live stream with Jonathan Burke from Ephemeral Skies, which was a lot of fun. I mean, he reached out to me and we've been chatting ever since. And I figured, he's making amazing music. Unfortunately, it's not on CD out, but I thought he deserved a bigger audience. So that's why I just invited him, and, we had a great chat on this live stream, which was a lot of fun. The other interviews I all did, live. Most of them in the venue, somewhere in a dressing room or anything, which it's always a challenge to do those interviews, but still, it was a lot of fun. Now, speaking of music, speaking of CDs, I decided to go back and I keep tracking my Discogs app to see how many CDs I bought this year. I bought 148 CDs, 23 of them were not prog. So that leaves 125 albums that were prog that I bought this year. And I also got a couple sent to me for reviews. So altogether, 130, 140 prog CDs were added to the collection this year. So that's quite a lot. So I've been listening to music a lot, as you can see. Another absolute highlight, of course, at the nick of time, just at the end of the year, is of course the great news that Everon is back. That Everon not only is back, but is also coming out with new music. They released an amazing song, No Embrace, and they announced a new album for February 2025, Shells, which I'm absolutely looking forward to. I think that counts definitely for me as a highlight. And I got a feeling that I'm forgetting like probably the biggest highlight of the year. Of course, LiveProg is back. I mean, I know I started out October 2023, I did my first video, but that was not with the intention of getting LiveProg back. That was with the intention of I got stuck on a channel that I was working on. And I was like, I need to do something different. I need to have a break or something. And I got some promos and I figured, maybe I should do a video about these promos. And I had the Violent Jasper promo with Johnny Beck and also Marco Gluman on it. So I figured, let's try that and see how it goes. And I ended up having a really great time doing that. And that got me thinking, and it still took a couple of months until February when I did a second video. And from that point on, I decided, man, this feels good. I want to keep doing this. So technically since February LiveProg is back, but that is this year, so that counts as a highlight. And I'm really happy that I am back. At the same time, I do have well, I tried a lot of things, and I've been looking back, thinking about how these things went. And I do notice that I tried a couple of things, like ranking videos, like different kinds of vlogs, and everything like that. But in general, I didn't do as much reviews as I wanted to, and I showed you which albums I didn't review. I did review a lot of other albums, but at the same time, I kind of noticed that I kind of was struggling with doing these reviews, with putting into words, you know, to talk about the music. I mean, English is not my first language, and for some reason when I get older, I found it more difficult to put my thoughts into the correct words. So that's why I'm thinking about how am I going to do that next year. I'm going to go to that later on. Let's go to the music. Now, one of the things I did this year was reconnect with a lot of bands that I knew, and did reviews of new albums they released. And one of the first ones I got was, of course, the mighty Palace. They're back, and another highlight here was that Alan Reed has joined Palace again. So yeah, that was amazing news. Unfortunately, the band was scattered a little bit and they didn't have a drummer, but nevertheless, The Messenger is an awesome album. They released it, so yeah, that is very cool. Yeah, for all we know, their third album, again, you know, they're getting better with each album, and again, this is a brilliant album. I'm a big fan of Woodstick, of course. I put one in the wrong pile. I mean, we're going through bands that I knew that I'm reconnecting with, but the simple fact does remain that Jadis has never been featured on LiveProg before. So despite the fact that I know Jadis, I've loved them, I did review them, but that was before LiveProg, written reviews. This was actually the first album I got to review on LiveProg, and I'm still, you know, having in the back of my head to do an interview with them. Hopefully 2025 that will happen, but again, this is a fantastic album. Another band that I knew very well, but I also never reviewed on LiveProg is Pure Reason Revolution, and I picked up this one at the concert, but this one is a fantastic album. This is my favorite Pure Reason Revolution album at this moment, especially with that stunning 5.1 mix that was done by Bruce Sword from the Pineapple Thief. So yeah, another highlight. Also, you know, getting to interview Pure Reason Revolution, probably the best interview I've done ever. A band that I did review on LiveProg, that I did interview, is The Tangent. And I was really happy to do a review of this one, especially because this is such a remarkable album done entirely by Andy Tillison. And it's an incredible album. I got a signed copy. It's really sweet. I really love it. I am working at the moment on finding a date to do an interview with Andy about this album and about all things The Tangent and a lot more. So that is gonna come. It's probably gonna air in early in January 2025, but keep on the lookout for that one, because that is gonna happen. And then a band that I never reviewed before until 2024, because in February that second video I did was on Time Lock, which was on their entire discography. Last year in 2023 I kind of fully discovered this band, became a huge fan. Their latest album, Atomic Swap, was released in November, and this is a killer album. It's really fantastic. For me, it is the best album they've ever done so far. And mind you, I'm a really big fan of their debut album. So the fact that, yeah, I put this one higher above that says something. But yeah, this is an amazing album. And again, I also did a very nice interview with the band. And then I've got a stack of music here from bands that I discovered this year, and that is also something very nice. For example, well, this one is released in 2023, but I still reviewed it this year. Foundation, The Foundation Mask, I gotta say it correctly. Well, Ron Lammers is the man behind it, but features a lot of great musicians. For example, Mark Schmidt, the original vocalist from Night Area. Yeah, a beautiful album. This brings me back that sweet 90s neo-prog sounds. I love that very much. I also reconnected when I rebooted LiveProg with Generation Prog Records. And yeah, he sent me a copy of one of their albums, which is very interesting. It features Dave Mola, the guitar player from Efflorescence. Oh man, I tough name. Kind of a jazzy fusion album, instrumental, but very good stuff. So I was kind of happy to discover that. One of the biggest discoveries for me in 2024 was Magoria, the project from Mark Bogert. When I picked up on this one was released like 5 years ago, but nevertheless I discovered it this year, and I went on a search to get myself a copy. It was at the time very difficult because the band didn't have any, the label didn't have any, so it was quite a search, but I did manage to secure myself a copy. And this year they released their second album, Hollingsworth Mansion, which is again a phenomenal rock opera. This is ooh, I love that stuff so much. Yeah. Arjen, I mentioned Arjen, I mentioned Arjen in my previous video, but Arjen Lucassen and Robert Soeterboek, way back in the 90s, they worked together on a band, on songs that never saw the light of day until 2024, when we finally got the Lost Songs from Plan 9, named after probably, arguably, the worst movie ever made. I happen to have a copy of it on DVD, and yeah, it is a horrible movie, but still fun to watch. But the songs are really fantastic. So yeah, really glad that these guys finally, kind of a surprise that it came out, but it was really awesome. Haven of Echoes is another gem that I really enjoy listening to. Same goes for this one, Captain of the Lost Waves. This was a real surprise. The captain himself, he sent me a copy, and I was like, I was completely like, what is this? This is not really prog, it's more troubadour music, you know? Picture yourself a man with a beard and a guitar, or a mandolin more, or a bouzouki. I believe it's a bouzouki that he plays, and really emotional, fragile, touching songs. I gotta say, this is really beautiful. This was a big surprise, but yeah, I kind of happy that I discovered that. Now, something I knew about was Jordan Rudess. I knew that, you know, I knew him as the keyboard player of Dream Theater. I knew he had a lot of solo work on it. I never really listened to his solo work. I got a chance to listen to a digital promo of this album, and that surprised me very much. This was like, wow man, this is a full-blown prog album. I'm not used to that. I mean, I went back to listen to his other music, and I was like, this kind of looks like the first time he really done that. And he got a great band, including a guitar-playing dentist, but he also had an amazing, a phenomenal singer, Joe Payne, and he steals the show on this album, definitely. He really blew me away. The vocal parts that he does are really fantastic, really beautiful, really awesome. So I was like, wow, this is good stuff. Yeah, so that's why I put that on the discovery pile. Another band I discovered, thanks to Luke Mission, is Karnataka. Luke Mason plays with them. I met him earlier this year when he was in the Netherlands with Cyan. Then later on he came back to the Pul in Uden to play with Karnataka. He sent me a Facebook message and he's like, hey man, you want to come? I'm here, you want to come, and great music. And I was like, I'm not that familiar with Karnataka. And he said, oh man, you're gonna love it. It is really great music. So I said, all right, you convinced me. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm easy to convince. And I gotta say, I was absolutely blown away. I was so blown away that after the show, I went up to Ian Jones and Satari and I said, do you guys have like 10 minutes? We could do a very short interview. We did a nice interview with them. It was a lot of fun. I went home with the CD, with the t-shirt, being a new fan of Karnataka, because that is fantastic music. Another discovery, Odd Leaf, a French band. Which again, you know, captured me with their beautiful sounds, their beautiful melodies. It is really an amazing album. It's also this magical atmosphere that they create, with an amazing singer that I turned out there was a history between the singer of this band and a review I did many years ago on LiveProg for a different band that also had, where she also used to sing, which was a lot of fun, an amazing album. So yeah, I'm glad I discovered that. Yeah, another band I discovered this year, Armed Cloud. Oh no, I don't have the shirt on. I have a different shirt on. I used to have the shirt on earlier today. Armed Cloud, heavy prog metal, but very good. I saw them live. I went to the album release show. Afterwards, I got a copy of the album, and it's still one of my favorite albums in the heavier section. And again, also in January 2025, or at least early 2025, I don't know exactly when, hope to do an interview with these guys because, yeah, they are awesome. And one of the absolute highlights this year was Emerald City Council. I mentioned them already because I did an interview with them. It was thanks to Scott Lade from the Prog Corner that I discovered these guys, because he did a really enthusiastic review of this album that got me to go out and get myself a copy of the album, do my own review of it, and afterwards do an interview with them thanks to the live stream possibilities. But yeah, this is a very beautiful album. There are 3 albums that I kind of left out a little bit because I'm still working on reviews for them and hopefully get these reviews out by the end of the year, at least 2 of them. Ageless, another band I discovered thanks to Scott Lade from the Prog Corner, because he invited me a while back to his live stream on a Sunday, and Ageless was one of the guests. We listened live to a couple of songs and I was like, wow, man, how come I never heard of you guys? Because this is their 4th album already and I had never heard of them. And what I heard was really good. Now I have not only this album, but I have all their albums, and I gotta say all of them are really fantastic. So yeah, I want to do a review of them. Also, this one, My Arrival, I got an album. I had planned to do a review of this one already. Same goes with Ageless, by the way, but health problems got in the way, so I didn't get around to it, but I'm gonna do it because I've been listening to this album non-stop and it is really phenomenal. And an album, the last album I bought this year was this one, Broers plus Klazinga. Well, Gerben Klazinga, formerly from Night Area. Yeah, an amazing album. Second Thoughts, this is their 2nd album. I just got it. I listened to it a couple of times. It is really good. It features also Mark Bogert on guitars. It features Mark Smith, the original vocalist from Night Area, as the vocalist on this album, and with this 2nd album being a full part of the band. So this is something probably I'm going to do early 2025, do a review of that. So I've been mentioning a lot of things that I want to do in early 2025. Several reviews, several interviews, and that is exactly the direction I'm heading for. Like I said, I've been struggling with these reviews a little bit, how to put it in words, so I want to, kind of move away from it a little bit. Not entirely, I will still keep on doing reviews, but not as much anymore. My main focus for 2025 is going to be interviews. Doing interviews with as many musicians as possible. If possible, do it live, meet them, either go out to a venue, do it, or go to their homes or their rehearsal studios, or invite them to my home. I don't care where, but as long as we can get together and do an interview. And if that's not possible geographically, well, of course we can do a live stream or we can do a Zoom interview, which I can edit and put on the LiveProg YouTube channel. So expect a lot of interviews coming your way, and I'm already planning a lot of things behind the scenes before I even put this video out online. There are a lot of things already happening, and hopefully some interviews that you're gonna be surprised of, that you're gonna enjoy and you're gonna be happy with. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. That's pretty much the biggest thing I want to announce for 2025. That is my direction. And of course, I want to go out to concerts. I want to meet people, because to be honest, one of the things I did not like that much in 2024 is the fact that I'm just sitting here alone in my room talking to a camera. Of course, I know you guys are behind that camera, I know that, but at the same time, and that's why I want to focus more on interviews, is I'd like to speak more with someone about music rather than talk about music myself. So that is something I want to do. So yeah, those are my highlights for this year. So what are your highlights from 2024? Leave them in the comments. And of course, well, what are your ideas for 2025? I'm looking forward to hearing from you as well. So let me know in the comments. Let's start up a nice discussion there. And for now, I say thank you all for your support in 2024. Happy holidays, have a great new year, and see you on the other side in 2025.